Welcome to the channel. This will be a review of the Dust Deputy 2.5 Cyclone Separator. In full disclosure, I purchased the original Dust Deputy system in 2018 using my own money. Now in 2022, the company has reached out and asked me to review their new 2.5 separator as well as the new lid in exchange for receiving those products at no charge to me. In my communications with them, I did ask if there was any requirements or restrictions that I should be aware of, and they said, quote, "We're not looking to tie any partners down with obligations and would just like to get their genuine, honest feedback," end quote. So, ask and you shall receive. Okay, so first impressions. This has a nice, positive, tight fit there. On the older one, I had to use hose clamps to help keep it secure. This one's just a little loose. You know what? I'm going to put some tape on it and see if I can snug that up a little bit. Okay, let's see what that does. Ooh. There we go. That's there. Okay, that's much tighter. Added just a little bit of aluminum tape here just to help snug that up. These connectors are Shop Vac brand connectors, so I don't want to deduct any points or give a negative impression about the fit here because we're using different things. So there's that. For the longer term testing, I made the decision to compare the original Dust Deputy and the new Dust Deputy, both using the original lid. I felt that this would be a more accurate comparison because it minimizes a variable between the two setups. I have had the 2.5 Dust Deputy to test out for a few weeks now, and in that time I have found it does a better job compared to the original with picking up chips like you would find from a jointer and shavings like you would find with hand planes. What I found with the original Dust Deputy is that if you pick up enough of them, eventually the system will clog. With the new Dust Deputy, I wasn't having the same clogging issue as I did in the original. My dustiest machine by far is the bandsaw. It was built sometime in the late 80s or the early 90s. It does have a dust collection port on it. However, I believe that is more of a back-of-the-box feature than something that is actually usable. When I first received that machine, I was running it with the original Dust Deputy. From there, I moved on to a canister-style dust extractor, and then eventually abandoned dust collection altogether because I didn't notice any meaningful difference with any of those for this particular bandsaw. So my testing here was primarily between no collection and the new 2.5. I will say the amount of dust buildup on the bandsaw's table between the original Dust Deputy, the canister style extractor, no dust collection, and the new 2.5 were all similar. The main difference here was both in the amount of dust that was collecting inside of the machine as well as the amount of dust that was falling out of the machine and all over the floor. The 2.5 did a much better job in capturing all of this dust. Like with the original lid, I also tested both versions of the Dust Deputy with the new lid. Initially, I had issues with the new lid sealing properly. The instructions state that the lid may fit loosely in your bucket and that the pressure from the vacuum will allow it to seal. With this in mind, I set about troubleshooting the problem. Okay, so it seems the issues that I was having was completely my fault. One, the filter needed to be changed. It was far too dirty. And two, the hose I had was not quite long enough, so it was pulling on the Dust Deputy, which was then letting the lid lift. But now there's enough pressure in the system to help suck that lid down. Overall, I found the new lid design to be an improvement over the original. It seemed to provide a performance boost to both the original and the 2.5 Dust Deputy. Based on my experiences, I would recommend the Dust Deputy 2.5 and the quick release lid to anyone looking to add dust separation to their shop vacuum, as well as anyone looking to add capacity to an existing setup. For my testing, I used a Shop Vac brand vacuum and hoses. The vacuum has a 14-gallon capacity and it peaks at 5.5 horsepower. The hoses were 2.5 inches in diameter and of various lengths. The buckets used in my tests were the ones that had been supplied with the original Dust Deputy that I purchased in 2018. All of the testing was completed in 2022. Thank you for tuning into this review. If you are a regular watcher of the channel, we will be back to our normal content next week.